her new office, a slight smile on her face. Dr. Larry had just finished explaining a secret that had been bothering her. "Tenny, I have to be honest," Larry said. "I've been seeing Rosa, but she was holding back because she was afraid you had feelings for me. She didn't want to betray your friendship." Tenny's eyes widened, then filled with tears, not of sadness, but of slight offense. "How could you and Rosa think so little of me? Do I look like a woman who would be jealous of her friend's happiness? I've already told her I'm done with men. My boys are my life. Does she think I can't survive without a man's help?" Larry laughed gently, having recorded her response. Later, when he played the recording for Rosa, her heart finally found peace. The two friends were closer than ever, and Rosa's guilt was finally gone. 2 weeks later, Tenny was invited to represent the Dantata Group at a prestigious jewelry auction. Since she had to stay late, she asked Rosa to pick up the twins from school. At the auction hall, the air was thick with the scent of expensive perfume and power. Tenny was dressed in a sharp white peplum blouse and a blue pencil skirt that hugged her curves perfectly. She looked every bit the professional chief designer. Suddenly, the room went quiet, then erupted in applause. Tenny looked up and saw Segun and Tiwa walking in, their fingers intertwined. They were playing the role of the perfect power couple for the cameras. Tenny didn't let them distract her. She moved toward the archives to study the designs. She was there to learn, not to gossip. However, General Clinton, the high-profile client she had impressed earlier, spotted her. "Tenny Ola," he called, walking to her side. "I knew I'd see you here. I was just telling my friends that you are the most talented designer in Lagos." The general took the microphone and addressed the room. "Everyone, I want to introduce a brilliant mind. This is Teniola Ademole, the chief designer of the Dantata Group." The room erupted in applause. Tenny was ushered to the VIP section, sitting right next to the vice president, Zubi. "My brother Zain returned tomorrow," Zubi whispered. "He's going to be very impressed with the reputation you're building for us." Across the room, Segun was losing his mind. He couldn't stop staring at Tenny. She was sitting with the elite, while he felt like a small boy in comparison. Tiwa was boiling with jealousy. She could feel Segun's attention drifting. "Honey, buy me that Italian necklace," she demanded, pointing at a piece currently up for bidding. "I want everyone to see how much you love me." "No, I mean, yes," Segun stammered, his eyes still fixed on Tenny. The bidding started. The Italian necklace was beautiful, but as Tenny noticed from her front row seat, it wasn't even real gold. It was a high-fashion piece, but not a true investment. 500,000 naira, Segun shouted, trying to look big. The young master of the Zoo family, one of the wealthiest families in the country, immediately countered 1 million naira. 1.5 million naira, Segun yelled. 2.5 million naira, young Master Zoo replied effortlessly. Segun started to sweat. His company hadn't been doing well, and he couldn't afford this. But Tiwa was clutching his arm, whispering, "Don't let Tenny see you lose. Prove you are richer than her." 5 million naira, Segun screamed. The hall clapped, but the laughter in Tenny's eyes was clear. "Is he an idiot?" Zubi whispered to Tenny. "Why is he bidding against the Zoo family for a piece of costume jewelry?" Tenny replied softly, a smirk playing on her lips. "He has always been an idiot, Zubi." Segun knew he couldn't go any higher. He raised his hand in defeat, and the young master of the Zoo family won the necklace for 10 million naira. Tenny watched the whole scene from her VIP seat, letting a sharp, mocking grin stay on her face for Segun and Tiwa to see. Tiwa felt completely humiliated. Her husband couldn't even outbid a rival to buy her a necklace in front of everyone. She felt like Tenny was laughing at their poverty. "I can create that exact design and make it even better," Tenny whispered to Zubi. Zubi turned to her, his eyes wide with shock. "Are you serious? If you can produce designs like that, our company will dominate the market from Lagos to London." He was now certain. Tenny was the greatest asset the Dantata Group had ever hired. As soon as they got into their car, Tiwa exploded.
You are so useless. You couldn't even pay 10 million naira to save my face. Tenny was mocking us. Segun grips the steering wheel, his face dark with irritation. That money could help our company survive. We're almost bankrupt and you want me to throw millions away on a piece of costume jewelry? You already have a house full of Tenny's old gold and diamonds that you stole. Wasn't that enough? Tenny was happy we looked poor, Tiwa screamed. Because we are poorer than the Zoo family, Segun roared back. That is the truth. You pushed me to embarrass myself and now everyone thinks I'm a fool. As they argued, Tenny's car, the company's luxury SUV, drove past them. She was sitting comfortably in the back with Zubi, looking like royalty. Segun watched her go, his heart heavy with a mixture of regret and jealousy. While Tenny was heading home to prepare a meal and reflect on her successful night, Rosa and Dr. Larry were at a high-end restaurant in Victoria Island with the twins. They looked like a perfect, happy family. Many people at the restaurant smiled at them, assuming Rosa and Larry were the parents. Taiwo and Kehinde ate their fill, then asked to go to the restroom. Go together and don't play with water, Rosa warned as the two little boys hurried off. At that same moment, Zain Dantata, the CEO, arrived at the restaurant. He had returned to Lagos earlier than expected. He was dressed in a sharp, dark suit, followed by his assistant and two towering bodyguards. Zain headed toward the restroom area to wash his hands. As he turned the corner, he almost collided with two small children. His bodyguards quickly reached out to steady the boys so they wouldn't fall. Zain stopped dead in his tracks. He was speechless. The two boys standing before him were miniature versions of himself. They had the same hair, the same sharp jawline, and the same intense eyes. They stared up at him in amazement, their little mouths open. The bodyguards exchanged confused glances. Does the boss have secret children? They wondered. The resemblance was so strong, it was impossible to ignore. Taiwo looked at the tall man. He had been planning with his brother to find their father one day. This man looked exactly like the daddy they had imagined. Their mother always said she didn't know who their father was, but the truth was standing right in front of them. Who is your mother? Zain asked. His voice was calm but carried a heavy authority. For 4 years and 3 months, Zain had been looking for the woman from that one night in the hotel, the woman who had disappeared before dawn. Taiwo looked up at the bigger version of himself. Before he could answer, little Kehinde stepped forward and asked a question of his own.